The YFed project is led by JEF Europe in partnership with the Assembly of European Regions. It aims at bringing the European Union closer to its young citizens by proposing an improved institutional framework in line with the European Youth Goals. 8 groups of young activists have thus been developing and implementing advocacy actions towards their local and regional authorities in order to promote the European Youth Goals and act on the future of Europe. JEF Castilla-La Mancha, a rural region in the center of Spain, organized an action over a weekend divided into 4 activities. The goal was to train and develop a youth organization while engaging with citizens from a small town on EU topics. The knowledge and training acquired led the young activists to elaborate an advocacy plan for 2021 and 2022. These activities and advocacy actions will impact youth in rural areas as long as the regional decision-making process. In the European Union, citizens are still not 100% aware of their rights. And when they do not always know how to have them respected. That's why JEF Belgium developed a toolbox of games and material for street actions and activities with young people. It aims at informing them about the EU, showing them how to take concrete actions, and collecting their ideas for the Europe they want. Not only did those street actions serve as advocacy actions with politicians, but they also created a list of young people's ideas for Europe in the context of the Conference on the Future of Europe. With Malta being such a highly politicized country, young people are sometimes discouraged about speaking out, expressing their opinion, and engaging in their local community. JEF Malta engaged in a discussion with young people and decision makers to raise general awareness about the lack of critical thinking and engagement in decision-making processes.
But it's really not the end of the world, and that students, at least for the time being, are still interested in joining student organizations.
The discussions being put forward were by students who weren't afraid of taking a stand or of being labeled. Because the whole point of standing up in what you believe, your values, whatever they are, is that you took a position.
There is an insufficient number of acting young leaders in smaller towns and villages, especially in Poland. Europe for Youth organized a training for youth leaders coming from rural areas who will act as multipliers and engage with their peers in social activities. The training aimed at helping them to develop competences, knowledge, and attitudes to fulfill their potential as youth leaders and citizens actively participating in their communities and decision-making processes. It was also meant to promote different opportunities of engagement and activism among young people in rural areas and increase the information available to them in those areas. JEF Finland has engaged with young people in different types of activities, from a training on how to volunteer in 2021, both in online and live events, to a dialogue with Finland's Europe Minister in the context of the Conference on the Future of Europe, alongside their summer days.
First section was that we have professional trainers. She encouraged us about the speech, the things what we love and what is important for us. Like Finland, it's about federalism, that Europe is very good things for us. Maybe it's about the feminism, maybe it's about the climate change. Our Europe Minister, Tytti Tuppurainen, was coming to give us a little bit details about what's going on in the EU and what's happening at the future, and telling a little bit about the Conference of the Future of Europe.
JEF Thuringen invited young people all over Europe to express their creativity and submit a piece of art in which they shared their vision for Europe in a contest. Young people involved in literature, sculpture, photography, and so on were invited to define Europe through art. The project will end with an event where the winners of the contest will present their pieces to decision makers and discuss their vision of Europe. Giving a simple answer to what Europe should be in the future is difficult. The institutional aspect is of course important, but there is more to a common Europe than just its political side. That's why we wanted to establish a different and diverse picture of Europe, focusing on creativity and culture. We want to encourage young people to communicate, express, and connect, both through politics and arts. It's time to show a colorful young Europe and promote creative activism for a positive change.